No, I used to always say that being angry is one of the worst feelings that you can ever had, but I'm 100% wrong because there's a feeling even worse than that, and that is being disappointed. Like, a good example is like gaming. If a bad game ended up coming out, no one really cares because the game is just bad and people move on. But if a game is disappointed, it's always remembered. It leaves this long-lasting feeling in you that never goes away. And this recently has happened to me with Destiny 2 Lightfall. Now, I made a whole video ranting about this, so I'm not going to go into it again, but all you need to know is that the expansion ended up releasing and I ended up being very disappointed, which is very sad. And this is a feeling that always stings the hardest. And I think you know when something like this happens because every time when a very disappointed game comes out, there's always like stages in every gaming community or just any community in general that always happens all the time when you see this. A good example and one part that the Destiny community is completely in is something that I like to call is the Copian or the discovering phase, where you're trying to like figure out what happens and people just come down to any conclusion because they want closure. They want to know what went wrong and they will do absolutely nothing to find this. People literally spend their time to become full-time internet detectives to search into any aspect of the community just to see if anything is happening or just to see why this thing released disappointed or what ended up going on. And it's always super duper sad to see because they're doing this because they're 100% on Copian, man. They're just hoping for the thing just to get better no matter what, that they will do literally anything just to break their back and realize it. And this is just one thing that I want to talk about. It is a disappointed game release. This is a feeling that hits completely differently when something that you're excited for come out and it just comes out to be very underwhelming and very just disappointed and mediocre. It's literally 2 times worse than just a game being bad because again, if a game releases bad or just unfinished, you instantly get like the closure. There's no like, oh, it could have been this or it could have been that. A good example is like me with Atomic Heart. This was a game that I was looking forward to and the game ended up releasing and it wasn't really that good. I didn't really enjoy the game at all and it just ended just like that. The game wasn't good. I moved on with my life. The character said crispy critters like literally 100 times because they tried to turn that into like a catchphrase, even though something as stupid as that literally... This is a side tangent, but I'll never understand how so much media tries so hard to create something catchy or to like, oh, this is a thing that obviously the kiddos or people are going to keep on saying over and over again. And it literally never works. Like, I don't think those are something you can like artificially make. But for me, that was a game that ended up being bad and disappointed. But for some people who were excited for Atomic Heart, since the game had ended up being released, we have the point where people who weren't really disappointed of the game just couldn't accept the fact that the game was underwhelming and is literally doing anything in their power to figure out the reason why. Sure, I'm making full fan theories that are just completely derailing for the whole conversation. A good example is like the whole twin fan theory. Obviously, the Atomic Heart Robo twins are one big aspect of the game, but there was a lot of rumors and leak of the game back then saying that they used to have like faces. They used to be faceless, but then out of nowhere, they ended up changing them to be faceless. So a lot of people are coming with the theory saying that they ended up doing that because they knew the game wasn't going to be good, so they ended up doing that to increase sales of the game. And it's just this weird stage that you never really see. And you only see it when people are living like high on the coke. But another good example of the opposite of a game just coming out and being bad is like Wild Hearts. That was a game that came out and the game was just garbage and you see no one searching why. But then when we go back to Destiny, the thing that I begin for, it's just the absolute search, this closure, this answer that you need on what's going on. But this is just one feeling that I'm always fascinated in and I have to see no matter what. Another good example of this was Attack on Titan Season 4. Now if you guys don't know how this ended up going, Attack on Titan used to release, it used to be made by a different studio. I'm currently forgetting the name of the studio, but they made it for Season 1, 2, and 3 and they were basically known for making the anime. But then the studio ended up getting changed to Studio Mappa and the quality of the animation drastically decreased. Now you can say whatever you want about the story. I still think the story of Attack on Titan is good, but you can clearly tell that the fight scenes and the way how the Titan works got an insanely bad drastic downgrade than how it used to look when it was made by Wit. Wit Studio was when he made it. You can clearly tell that it got an extremely drastic downgrade and it just doesn't look the same. All the fight scenes are extremely dull and not really that exciting looking, and because of that whole situation, it caused this whole uproar of the internet of just people just coping. And this is just the two things that I'm talking about. The Copian and the Hopian are the two things you ended up seeing over and over again. When something comes out disappointed, you need to know the reason why. You see the community as this completely like unravel, which I swear I did try to make that a Destiny reference. You see the community as this complete tangle mess of just this 50-50 stage. And every time when I see something like this, I just can't really just look away. I have to stay entwined and interact with the community 24/7 just to see how the interaction is going to go. Because this is currently right now in the Destiny community. Like, you could not play the game at all, but if you check like the Destiny subreddit or anything Destiny related, undefeated. It's literally just an absolute war zone, kind of like how Genshin Impact fans are 24/7. It's just people literally tearing each other apart on just basically anything. It reached a point where you can't really have an opinion on the situation because you're instantly going to be like demonized or say you're like the worst person of all time. Like if you say, come out and you say you like Destiny 2 Lightfall and you thought it was a good expansion, you would not hear the end of it at all. You have armies of people coming down to you calling you absolutely dumb and for saying something as like stupid as that. But if you say like, I think the expansion is bad, you're also super entitled and expecting too much from the company. And it's kind of sad to see. Just when a game comes out and is extremely decisive, it's a very interesting experience to be in the third person because with Destiny Lightfall, I already got over it. I move on when like games and media and stuff is really bad. I'm not like how I used to because back then I used to be part of the Copian squad. Like when the launch of Destiny 2 came, I was literally like a Reddit warrior. I was there 24/7 just having to just post every single thing I dislike about the game. But nowadays I'm not like that anymore. Literally with something that comes out and is disappointed, I'll be mad for like a day like what I was with Destiny Lightfall, and then I'll just move on from the situation. I don't stay like this long-lasting grudge because that's just something that really makes no sense in the long run. But seeing just the reaction of communities when this happened, this tore 50-50. It's kind of just sad to see. Anyway, this is just something that's been on my mind. I know this video is kind of like all over the place, but this is something that I want to talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day. See ya.